One of the things obviously people know you for is sparring the great Mike Tyson, but sometimes we sort of hear that you sparred him. But what was it actually like to be in the ring with him sparring? I mean, how do you get through a round? Because he was obviously at his most ferocious at the time that you were sparring with him.
The only way you can describe Mike Tyson is savagery. You know, the way Mike fights. Cuss used to say what Mike lacks in aggression, what Mike lacks in experience, he uses in aggression. And every punch that Mike Tyson threw was with bad intentions. He wanted to inflict as much pain on his sparring partners and when he fought his opponents as he possibly could. But it's the nature of the sport, you know, you want to win, you want to get your opponent out of there as quick as you possibly could. Mike Tyson made sure work of so many sparring partners, he made sure work of so many opponents. But it was an honour to share the ring with him, Liam. You know, when you look at what that man went on to achieve, the youngest ever heavyweight champion of the world at 20 years of age. You know, the boy had such humble beginnings, and most fighters have humble beginnings. People say fighters come from the gutter. I don't like that terminology. Fighters come from humble beginnings. You fight to make a better life for yourself, to improve your own personal circumstances, and then sometimes your family's personal circumstances.
But what's the strategy then? You know, he's there in the opposite corner, and then what do? Do you just try and defend yourself, or do you can't launch an attack really?
No, the thing is, if you were to attack Mike Tyson, you know, the chances are, they say the best form of defence is attack. I've never found that, but Mike Tyson will be throwing punches at you so fast and so furious. Really, all you can do is cover up and move, and when I was in trouble, hold on. You know, I held on to Mike many times. You wouldn't have got me off him with a crowbar. I was holding on that tight, you know. But it was an honour to share the ring with him. If you're going to get battered, you might as well get battered by the best. Liam, I got battered by the best of my era. Mike Tyson is, to me, one of the greatest fighters of all time.
The weird thing is you also fought Lennox Lewis. And what's the comparison between the two at that time?
Take nothing away from Lennox Lewis. Lennox was also one of the greatest fighters of his era. He won a bronze medal in the 1984 Olympics. I boxed him in 1985. I won the New York Golden Gloves. I won the New York State Golden Gloves. And I boxed in a New York State team against the Canadian All-Stars. Lennox was number 2 in the world at the time, and it was an honour to share the ring with him. He went on and got the gold in 1988. And then he went on to win a few versions of the world heavyweight title. And he beat Mike Tyson in a particular fight as a professional fighter. But at that stage, in my opinion, Mike was a shell of a man. But take nothing away from Lennox. Lennox beat what was in front of him. But Lennox was a different fighter than Mike. Lennox had all the natural attributes of height, 6'5", reach. He had so many natural attributes. When Mike was short for a heavyweight, he wasn't big for a heavyweight. He hadn't got the experience that Lennox had, but yeah, Mike achieved so much. And if you look at the comparisons in the size, you think, how can a man of Mike Tyson's stature beat these big, powerful heavyweights?
Because he's quite small, isn't he?
He was only 5'10", 5'10 and a half, but the speed that he delivered a punch with and the power he delivered a punch with was so ferocious and so awesome. But Lennox was a great fighter, take nothing away from the man, and it was an honour to share the ring with him. Every fighter climbs into the ring dreams about becoming a champion of the world. I dreamed about becoming a champion of the world. I wasn't good enough to become a champion of the world. I fought lots of world champions, and it was an honour to share the ring with him. So he did and achieved what I dreamed of achieving, you know. Lennox did it.
But it must be, you must be one of the few people that's actually been in with Tyson and Lennox Lewis. So you would have a very good comparison of their talents and abilities, wouldn't you?
I believe that Lennox could box in any era of heavyweights, you know, but I still believe on a level playing field that if Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis were to fight on a level playing field, I believe Mike handled bigger men better than Lennox handled smaller men, you know. But Lennox was such a major achiever, you know. He 2 Olympics, 2 medals, a bronze and then a gold, a few versions of the world heavyweight title. I think he won the world heavyweight title on 2 or 3 occasions.
Do you think he gets enough credit?
He doesn't. No, Lennox doesn't get enough credit. No. He beat, in the 2 men that he lost to as a professional, he lost to Hasim Rahman and he lost to Oliver McCall. And both fights, he was doing an Ocean's 11 film, and he was doing a Nelson Mandela publicity tour before he went out to South Africa with Nelson Mandela, God rest Nelson Mandela. And both times his training camp, for whatever reasons, weren't done as diligently as they should have been done. And both times he lost. When he came back and prepared properly and diligently for Hasim Rahman and Oliver McCall, he beat them both quite easy. So Lennox could have gone his whole career as an unbeaten heavyweight.
He was a great fighter, wasn't he?
Great fighter, really, really great fighter. I just happen to be a bigger fan of Mike Tyson than I am of Lennox Lewis. But I take nothing away from Lennox Lewis. It was an honour to share the ring with him. I got battered by Lennox for 3 rounds. I stayed on my feet. He went on to win a few versions of the World Heavyweight title. And to be able to say that I shared the ring with the man and stayed on my feet and lost on points is a major boast. And I do boast about it. Yeah, I do boast about it because I've earned the right to boast about it.
Absolutely.
And I've earned the right to boast about sparring with Mike Tyson. Yeah, I might milk it, but so what? I milk it because I love milking it. I love being
There's not many people have done it, have they?
I love being able to say that I shared the ring with these 2 men and I got battered by these 2 men.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong with it at all. Mike Tyson made me cry many, many times, you know, and I'm not ashamed to say that.